Your ignorance will get us killed, Zark. The Ghost Eater represents a threat we've never seen before.
Your Ghost Eater only eats spirits. Colossus Rumblus will collapse the Catacombs. That's the real risk.
You're both wrong. The Howling King is gathering an army that could easily overrun us.
We've been arguing like this since the Graveling Patriarchs appeared. You'd think 3 scholars could agree on something.
We should settle it now. Now talk with us, decide which beast is the biggest danger, then speak to Shrill Sunderbark about a course of action.
Hey guys, VG Sav here, and welcome to Ascalonian Catacombs Path 3. Unfortunately, my friend kind of started the dungeon before I got in here, so we're going to not see the champion battle that, well actually it's an elite, I believe, that happens in this room. And we also missed the first cutscene, so I think I ended up skipping most of the rest of the cutscenes after this. Unfortunately, so we're not going to watch too many cutscenes in this, and I'm almost positive I skip all of them in Path 1. I do Path 3 first, because Path 3 is by far the easiest dungeon path, explorable dungeon path in this game. It's not the quickest, but it's by far the easiest.
Another Graveling mound.
I'm going to start up an LFG here, and then we're going to skip this Graveling mound part. It's just a headache that you really don't need to complete. If I ever get the LFG up and running, you'll see that we're going to run past these Gravelings into the Spider Queen room. While running through this part here, make sure to watch out for the spike traps and the fire traps that if they hit you, they could possibly insta-down you. So in most parties, most people will stand on this wall before we start the battle with the Spider Queen to wait for everybody to show up. While you're standing here, you can take out, there's 4 gargoyle heads that spit fire that can do a lot of damage to you while you're fighting the Spider Queen, so it's best to take them out now. My friend's actually doing that right now while I'm messing with the LFG. And once the whole party shows up, we will go and slay the Spider Queen and her hatchlings. Alright, so everybody's here, so we're going to jump down and start taking out the spider hatchlings. Something to keep in mind, you cannot damage these spider hatchlings from the wall, so you have to jump down and kill them. If you try to range them from the top of that wall, they will become invulnerable, meaning that you can't damage them because there's no path for them to come to you and attack you. No valid path, so they will automatically become invulnerable and undamageable. So we try to take out, there's the initial ones, then there's some that drop down as you're fighting them, and then a third group of them will come down when the Spider Queen comes down. The Spider Queen will come down when all the level 1 or level 2 spiders are dead. You'll notice in the group of spiders that there's a bunch of level 35 spider hatchlings, and then there's a bunch of 1 or 2 level spider hatchlings. Again, if you take all the 1 or 2 spider hatchlings down, then the Spider Queen will come down as well, and like I said, bring more spider hatchlings with her. You want to try to take out as many of those spider hatchlings as you can before going into the Spider Queen. And the reason why I say that, and some people will argue with me against it, the reason why I personally do it is because those little spider hatchlings will throw a lot of poison at you while you're fighting the Spider Queen, and if you're kind of, you know, if you're a low level like I am, that poison will take you down. If you're running with a group of 80s and everybody's running Zerkers, you know, and you want to skip the hatchlings, you might be better off because you can use those spider hatchlings to rally off of if you go down against the Spider Queen. However, I think the Spider Queen is pretty easy. One thing you have to watch out for her with her is she will throw 3 clouds of poison out at a time, a little AoE poison on the floor. If you're standing in it or you walk through it, you will be poisoned for a significant amount of time. She also does a web attack, which she's doing right here, that will immobilize you. So if she can immobilize you in the poison cloud, and it's just going to kill you, like it just happened to me right there. Fortunately, we did enough damage where she's dead now, so we don't have to worry about fighting her anymore. So directly after that, pick up your chest, and then we're gonna stack in this corner here, right by the door. And we're going to pull these gravelings out of this hallway and fight them right here. The reasoning for this is there are a lot of traps in this hallway. So if you try to fight the gravelings in the hallway, the traps will take you down. And the chain for to stop the traps is actually at the top of the hallway. Technically, this part is skippable. You don't have to fight these gravelings. It's just a lot easier just to do it. And you also get a chest for defeating the one graveling.
Time to do some real damage.
Okay, so now we want to go turn off these traps so the whole party can make it up without a problem. I've done this so many times that I just feel confident enough where I can run ahead and go ahead and do this. However, if you've never done it before, you might want to just stay in the back there until somebody else runs up there and pulls the traps for you. And then immediately run to the left. Don't go up the middle like we did in story mode. Go to the left side of this room and sack right here in this corner. It's very specifically in this corner. The reason for this is this champion, while you're fighting him, will spawn a lot of adds, and it's easier to pull them all into this small little area and take them out that way than trying to spread out and fight them all at once. And you see I immediately fall out of the stack because I'm an idiot. Things to look for while you're fighting Kohler. He has a spin move attack that will pull you in and do massive amounts of damage to you. There's a gigantic tell if you're paying attention to him, that you can tell when this attack is coming, and you want to avoid this attack at all costs. I've seen this attack down entire parties, so make sure you get out. There it is right there. Make sure you get out of the way when that attack comes up. Break the stack if you have to. Just to make sure you survive. Another thing to keep in mind is Kohler is completely optional. You do not have to fight him in any of the explorable paths. However, he does exist in all the explorable paths, and once you kill him, you do get a chest for him and an extra waypoint, and the waypoint makes things a lot easier. However, like I said, he's optional. You don't have to fight him. So if your party can't seem to take him out, you can go ahead and skip him. Unfortunately, every so often that happens where you dodge back and fall off the cliff down into this water. When this happens, all you want to do is find these stairs right here, run up the stairs and run back into the battle. Fortunately, as I was doing that, he actually died. So the battle's over. I'm just running up here now to grab my chests. And once we do this, we want to head off to the right. Make sure to avoid those traps that we just passed through, and then we're going to run through this hallway past these ghosts. There's no need to fight these ghosts, so we just skip them and just run to the back of this room. You guys may recognize this room from story mode. This is the Lover's Crypt, where we fought the two champion ghosts at the same time. we're going to do something completely different this time around.
Lovers in life, bound eternally in death. Think of the concentrated ecto-undeath distillate. Now, to set up ecto-collectors, transmit the undeath essence to my storage units. Process is attracting gravelings. Well, stop them! I'll just be a few moments. Easy enough. I imagine.
So basically what happened there is the NPC has set up some contraption to pull undeath distillate. I don't know. Anyway, our goal here is to protect those two contraptions that he's using to extract whatever from those two tombs. These graveling mounds will start popping. They pop in the same exact order every time. So if you if you want to watch my video all the way through, you'll know the order. I know the order. I've done this dungeon a million times. So you can quickly learn the order just by watching me do this here. However, over time you'll just know it. It makes a lot of sense, the order, so you'll kind of figure it out eventually. And again, it's always the same order every time at the exact same time. So just go from graveling mound to graveling mound and take them out. You have an elementalist here. Ice bows are huge. Ice bows will destroy these mounds by themselves, especially if you're a level 80. You really don't need to do much else if you have the ice bows. However, if you don't have ice bows, just run from mound to mound to mound and just hit, just keep hitting them until they go away, I guess. This part does get a little boring. This part cannot be sped up, so this part is going to take the exact same amount of time almost every time. One thing to keep in mind, if you do start struggling with this and the gravelings start getting free, is to watch the health of these two contraptions. If they both become destroyed, you will fail this part. If one of them gets destroyed, you're still okay as long as the other one stays up. It will just take longer for this whole thing to complete. So again, like I said, one of the contraptions dead is okay, but two is a failure. So make sure to keep an eye on those contraptions if you're struggling with the graveling mound.
I could outrun a centaur. I could outrun a centaur.
While I was messing around fighting those gravelings, one of the mounds popped right here, and it was taken down by my friend the elementalist. So I just wanted to make sure I showed you guys where that mound is.
I could outrun a centaur.
The answer is out there.
And that was the final mound. There's a little bit of downtime now from when we take down that final mound to when these collectors are finished. So I'll dance for you in the meantime. Once these collectors are done collecting, there'll be a chest. Pick up your chest, and then we will be turned into ghosts. And when we are turned into ghosts, we'll have a short run to a large room with more Graveling mounds.
A veritable bounty of ecto-undeath distillate. Now to make us ghosts.
Okay, so now we're ghosts, and we're gonna run up this path here and run across this room. Watch out for these spiders; they will poison you, but skip them. Don't fight them. There's no point in fighting them. Run up these stairs, and there's gonna be more stairs, and then there's more stairs, and then we go up this path to more stairs, and this is the big room with the. There's going to be 4 Graveling mounds. These are much stronger Graveling mounds than from the Lover's Crypt. Again, ice bows are huge here. War Master Grass is speaking, but you can barely hear him through what's going on, so I'm just going to keep talking. We want to take the first one out there, then we run to the second one, and then there's 2 more at the very end of the room. Like I said, these have a lot more health than the mounds from that we just fought from before. So we'll take a little bit more than just 1 ice bow shot to take him down. However, overall, it's not very difficult. So take these 4 Graveling mounds down and grab your chest. Okay, so once those 4 mounds are down and we grab our chests, we're actually going to waypoint ahead. It's really not 100% necessary that you waypoint, but most pickup groups that you get into will waypoint. It shaves about a total of 10 seconds off your total time. It's not huge. If you don't waypoint, a door will open to some stairs, and you'll run down the stairs, and you'll be right at the waypoint. The problem is you just have to wait for that to happen. That's why a lot of people get impatient and just waypoint. While we were doing the room with the 4 mounds up there, one of our party members died, so we're going to end up having to wait for him. But we were going to do a short run here to the final boss, big giant Graveling, and I'll explain that more in a few minutes. So at the end of that run, we always come up to this part. You don't actually have to come up to this part, but what it does is it actually breaks aggro with all those Gravelings. So we will stay up here and wait for our other party member to catch up. Okay, so we got a little impatient here and decided that we're no longer going to wait for that 5th party member, and we're going to go ahead and start this battle 4-man. The 5th party member is actually not too far behind anyway. He'll catch up before this battle is over. One thing you want to make absolutely certain that you do before going into this battle is make sure you locate War Master Grass. He should be following you. There should be 2 NPCs following you, him and Zark. If War Master Grass is not with you, go find him. He's probably dead somewhere. A lot of times he's dead in the large room with the 4 Graveling mounds where you first meet him. You need him for this battle. What he does is he puts up a protective bubble that protects you from the falling ceiling. This champion enemy here will drop the ceiling on you, and if it hits you, you go insta down, and if it hits you again, you die. So especially if you're not level 80, there's no chance, you have no chance of surviving it if that happens. So, also, if you stray too far away from War Master Grass, you will end up in the falling ceiling. So, you want to make sure you stay relatively close to him so that you can stay in his protective bubble. Other than that, just keep hitting the enemy until he dies.
Let us rejoin the front lines to repel the invaders. Look for me there, brave soldiers. I would be glad to have you fighting by my side in the coming battles.
And kind of without thinking there, I skipped the cutscene, so my bad. That's it for Path 3, guys. I'll see you next time.